So, I was thinking about this exploited and missing children. I was a runaway in Detroit. I was in juvie in Pontiac in the group home in Oxford. And there were no men in suits that came and visited and ended up leaving with kids. There wasn't no old perverted man that made us do anything. But they did put a lot of us on medication, which I'm still not a fan of medication. But I got really lucky, I'm guessing. And so did the other girls. Because all of us were arrested around the same time. All of us were put in the group home at around the same time. There were some girls that were there before, but there were no men who came in suits or anything else to pick any of the girls up, to come and take any of the girls. This is when I was younger, like 14, 15, 16, and 17. I did all my growing up in the group home. Then, as an adult, I was on the street in Philadelphia. None, I did, there were a group of girls. We all were friends. None of us ended up dead. None of us ended up in any kind of sex trafficking or anything like that. None of us ended up like that. So I don't know what to think about exploited and missing children. I'm thinking their parents did that to them is the only thing I can think of because none of that stuff ever happened in juvie. None of it ever happened in the group home. None of it ever happened in jail, in the county prison, or the state prison, or juvie, or the group home. So I don't know. I really think they were set up. Something else had to have happened for things like that to happen to the children. And I'm not saying like the random kidnappings and rapings and things like that, but I'm talking about organized where you can get the kids easy and you've got connections. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking the kids that are randomly picked up off the street. That shit don't happen. No, I said that wrong. That people and coming and taking kids out of juvie in the group home. That shit I don't think happens because it didn't happen in any of the jails or any of the group homes. And you would think it would happen in Oxford. Oxford is in the middle of nowhere. Oxford, Michigan is kind of in the middle of nowhere. You would think that that would be the place. But no, no, it didn't happen. It never happened. Same as juvie. It didn't happen. It never happened. So I don't know where a lot of the people, uh, survivors, come up with, well, uh, they just came and got me. No, they didn't. That's bullshit. I know it's bullshit because I've been a ward of the state almost my entire life. And that was my own fault. You would think a a girl who runs away would be picked up by one of these weirdos immediately. I was a young ass white kid in the ghetto. Just walking around, I had $20 in my pocket and a butter knife. And nobody even bothered with me. Nobody. Maybe it's because I'm ugly. But I doubt it. I'm not really all that ugly. Um, I'm just starting to think it don't happen. They don't just pick up girls from group homes and juvie. That doesn't happen. Do you know how much trouble they would get in if they were to do some shit like that? Dude, jail is so regulated. Group homes are so regulated. They would have to take 92% of the regulations off there to even begin to do shit like that. Them kids as parents, Madeline McCann, other girls like that, some shit was there. There was something else. There's always something else. And maybe the kids that maybe the kids that happens to are all foreign kids. But again, I don't know. There are a lot of kids that are just randomly snatched and randomly picked up. But I don't know. But I really feel bad for those little babies. I do. I feel bad for those little babies, but I don't know. Maybe I got lucky, or maybe they don't take kids out of group homes and they don't do stuff like that because nobody in a suit or nobody came and took any of those girls that I was in juvie in the group home with. Nobody ever came and did anything with them or even took them out. None of the girls ended up missing or taken away by somebody. Nobody. Except for me. I busted out once with my mom. Yeah. It was awesome. She threw me on the trunk. It was great. I didn't even get more parole for that. They let me go for 2 weeks. And then my mom had to take me back. It was great. My grandma was freaked out. It was awesome. But other than that, none of the girls, when I came back after that 2 weeks, all of them girls were still there. There wasn't not a one missing. There never was not a one missing. So I don't really know. I don't think there's I don't see how there could be a survivors of Pizzagate. Because as far as I know, they don't get no survivors from Pizzagate. They kill them kids. They abuse them, torture them, and then eat their brains. Or, that adrenochrome shit that comes from your brain. They torture those kids and make them scared and then eat their brains. So I can't picture there would be a survivor of that. Like, they don't let them kids go. They don't let them kids survive. Unless they need them for something else, like making money. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. But I highly doubt it because I've been in 92% of those scenarios. And no. I've been to jail, I've been to juvie, I've been to the group home, I've been on the streets, and young and older, I've been on the streets, and I personally have never seen anything like that. I know it happens. I do 100% understand that stuff happens. But I can't see how it could happen to American kids in a group home. Them group homes are so regulated. Could you imagine getting caught doing something like that to the kids in the group home? Or that shit is so regulated. So regulated. There is no way unless you change all the rules and then you get caught and the rules are changed. Just like what happened with that whistleblower shit. We're at the age that you can't keep a secret anymore. You can't keep a secret. Anybody can find out anything about you. Anybody. So, like, if stuff like that is happening and they are taking kids out of the group home and out of juvie and whatnot, it's only a matter of time before it's found out. It's only a matter of time if that's really happening. Maybe it wasn't happening in the mid 90s. Maybe it wasn't happening then. So then everything I'm saying right now doesn't really fucking matter. But I just wanted to put it out there just in case somebody understands that shit doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't happen, because it probably does happen. But I guess I want to give my 2 cents about it, because I've been a ward of the state most of my life. So if things like that were going to happen, they would have definitely happened to a kid like me. Definitely. 100%. And I'm really surprised that I haven't got picked up off the street and murdered. There was a long time that I actually tried to do that, kill myself via proxy. And it never happened. It didn't happen. And when I was a kid, I lived with a hooker. I did, in her truck with her boyfriend. And even then, I never had sex. I never did any of that. She kicked me out when she found out who my mom was, though. She was like, "You gotta go." And so then I ended up running away to Ohio in a Ryder truck, selling busted TVs to the flea market. But none of that stuff never happened. Like, it makes me wonder why it didn't happen. The ego in me is like, why the fuck not? But then, the other part of me is like, thank your lucky stars it didn't happen. But, I don't know how to explain it without sounding harsh. But again, maybe that stuff wasn't happening in the mid 90s. Early 90s to mid 90s. I didn't get out of jail until like 2002. Yeah, I got out of the group home in 2002. Then I spent a bunch of time running around being retarded. Still didn't happen. Maybe it's because everybody knew who I was. But how would they know who I was if I was in jail all that time? I don't know. I'm sitting here trying to make sense of it, and I can't. I can't. Because I've never known that to be true. There has to be something else. There has to be something else. That's Occam's razor is answering that. The simplest answer is usually the answer. There's something else going on with that. It can't just be they're taking kids and they're just doing whatever. There's no way. There's no way. There has to be something else. And the kids in the orphanage. That shit is so regulated. My God, you can't even get a kid unless you follow the criteria. You have the criteria to unless you have the criteria to get those kids, you can't get those kids. So again, there has to be something else. It can't just be these institutions are giving away these kids. There's something else. And I don't know what it is. The simplest answer tells me that it's a family member that's letting this happen. It's these kids' families that are letting this happen. But that's just my opinion. I don't know that to be fact. But Occam's razor, the simplest answer, simplest explanation is usually the answer. So I don't know, but there has to be something else. But I don't know. Have a great day.